taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree. Now save me, 'cause I don't need saving.
So AI is doing the rounds at the moment. Is it moral? Is it immoral? Is it a good shortcut? Or is it going to take jobs away from artists? Well, let's find out, shall we? So I think the internet's getting a different landscape now, in that you don't know what is reality, what isn't reality, and we have to question everything. And with the whole AI thing, with I don't know if you've seen, but there's a whole thing doing the rounds where people were thinking that Link, the new Zelda, was going to come out with Tom Holland playing the key character, the lead character. So there's nothing stopping me or anyone else from typing in exactly the same thing. So is the artist the AI, the computer? Will people start copyrighting the phrasing that they've used for AI art? What is the new landscape of copyright and intellectual property rights? And it was AI. It's not a real thing, although maybe AI will start shaping reality, in that, you know, when people start campaigning for this to be a real thing, maybe Tom Holland will sign up. It's scary to think that this wasn't done by an artist. It's my understanding of AI is it takes all the little bits from the internet and takes all the descriptors that it knows to be Link and Tom Holland, as well as what you've told it, and somehow rehashes it. And that is what we as artists do. We look at stuff, we take it and we revamp it. But if we're good, we'll look at copyright-free images and we'll change it enough that it's not going to be a problem. But does AI do that? Does it take into account that it's someone else's work and it will change it and think for itself? Let's see what it does with my descriptors. Let's see if it can recreate my artwork. Okay, so if I type in AI generators, will I be able to find the software? Right, image generator. I'm not a robot. It's ironic. Okay, the top of the head is removed of a simple mask light face, a maze instead of a brain. I think that's going to be too complicated. Okay, so this is not going to, if you have this very specific image, it's not going to work. But if you want something created, then it might help. So let's try landscapes, because I struggle with those. Let's see if I can create a landscape for my characters. Right, dystopian alien planet with 3 suns. Okay, so it hasn't got the 3 suns, but let's work with this. I think a more skilled artist, a more skilled digital artist, should I say, would be able to really take this and make it their own, really use it as a starting point rather than just adding stuff to it. But I think it will help mainly in corporate jobs where they're employed to do like conceptual art or anything like that, where if they take, you know, this could be a shortcut for things they find difficult, or more likely things they don't want to spend time on. Things that would take them normally weeks, they can get a baseline and just take a few hours to tweak it maybe. I don't know enough about digital art, but what's interesting is whether this will start to be used in traditional art more with robots and 3D printer technology. I don't think artists will ever be threatened by AI, or at least they shouldn't be, because an artist has the obsession to create, and it's the relationship we build with those who see our art. You can't put on a whole show and connect to other people if it's just generated by a computer. unless there's a person behind the computer who has like a vision and a reason for doing it. I think it is passion and the reason and intention of the reason you're creating art, either for the end product or more likely in my case, the process of creating something to be tactile and to touch something. I even wrote my dissertation on digital art versus sketchbooks, and now it would be AI versus humans. But I don't think we need to worry, or at least not just yet. But it is amazing that you can create images, but it's not going to be exactly what you want. It didn't have the free suns. It didn't have the. You'd have to really keep writing stuff, and you might as well just go out and paint. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this changes the landscape. Like, morally, is it taking people's copyrighted images and is it like changing them enough, or has it got like a different source where it can understand what you're searching for? And I think that's where it gets difficult, because is this going to be like people's intellectual property kind of, I have to paint. I'm obsessed and I have to create and tactile in the nature of touching the paper and the ink splats and the layers drying and the connection to the world and my soul. And it's not always like that, but find that meditation to just sit down with a sketchbook, that is something that will always be here. I mean, we wouldn't have cave paintings if it was just for the end product. They were using it as a way to capture the landscape around them, and we wouldn't necessarily have known that they were hunters, or I don't know enough about the history, but we found out a lot about them through those cave paintings. It's recording a history of that person. This AI that does not have a life. We can look back through all the old like sketchbooks of Leonardo da Vinci and Van Gogh, and we can look back through their artwork and we can understand what was going on for them at that time. And that, I think, is something that we'll always have, being able to look back through history at people's art and understand the person that bit better. Space astronaut woman among angel fish in style of extemporary art. Doing it in oil, so I need to change that to acrylic, but I do paint in oil sometimes. I really think you can notice the love and the passion and the emotion in the brushstrokes. I think that does come across even in digital art, and I think we're losing something here, and I can't quite put my finger on why. It's the intention and the feeling that I put into my artwork. I'm not thinking in it like a logical way. Some artists do, that's fine, but you still have that human element that you can't replicate, or if you can, then relationship and connection is missing. Or if there's someone behind the computer, then I still think there's that disconnect through the art. So this could be great, as I said, for shortcuts, for generating an idea, for getting a landscape if you're not good at landscapes, to then build upon. And I still think if you want a specific idea, then it's better to do it yourself.